Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today, we have something truly exciting for all the coin collectors and history buffs out there. We're diving deep into the world of rare coins and uncovering the fascinating story behind a little copper gem from the past, the 1938 no-mint mark halfpenny. Believe it or not, this coin is currently valued at a whopping $75,200. So why is this halfpenny worth a fortune? Stick around because we're going to talk history, rarity, and what makes this coin a must-have for serious collectors. Before we talk about the value, let's take a trip back in time to explore the history of the halfpenny. The British halfpenny, or halfpence as it was commonly called, was first introduced during the reign of King Edward I in the 13th century. These small copper coins played a vital role in day-to-day commerce, allowing ordinary citizens to buy everything from bread to basic services. But the halfpenny we're talking about today comes from a much more modern period. By 1938, the British Empire was well into the reign of King George VI, and halfpennies were still being minted as part of the regular currency. But one particular version of the 1938 halfpenny stands out, the one without a mint mark. It's this tiny detail, or should I say, lack of detail, that has turned this humble coin into a rare collectible worth tens of thousands of dollars today. So what exactly is a no-mint mark coin? And why is it such a big deal? Well, in most cases, coins have a small mark on them to indicate where they were minted. Common mint marks for British coins include locations like London, Birmingham, and sometimes foreign mints like Ottawa or Melbourne during war times. But in 1938, there was a small batch of halfpennies produced without this mint mark, and that's what makes these coins so special. These no-mint mark coins were likely minted by mistake, perhaps during a brief transitional period when new minting presses were installed. That's speculation, of course, but whatever the reason, only a very limited number of these no-mint mark halfpennies ever made it out into circulation. And this rarity is the first key to understanding why this coin has become so valuable. Now, let's get to the real question. Why is this 1938 no-mint mark halfpenny worth $75,200 today? A few factors play into this. As mentioned earlier, the no-mint mark version of this coin is incredibly rare. Out of the millions of halfpennies minted in 1938, only a handful are known to exist without the mint mark. Condition, or the grade of a coin, plays a huge role in its value. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If you happen to come across a 1938 no-mint mark halfpenny in uncirculated or mint condition, you're sitting on a gold mine. The pristine surfaces, sharp details, and lack of wear all add to the coin's allure and its hefty price tag. There's always a high demand for rare coins, especially among serious collectors. A coin like this, with such a unique backstory and rarity, can attract fierce bidding at auctions. And let's face it, for many collectors, owning a piece of history is priceless. So, how did this coin reach such a staggering market value? Let's take a closer look at the recent auction history of the 1938 no-mint mark halfpenny. Just last year, one of these rare coins sold for an unbelievable $75,200. While that might seem shocking, the value of this coin has steadily increased over the years due to its rarity and the growing interest in historic coin collections. The demand for rare British coins, especially pre-decimalization coins, has been surging in recent times. If you had this coin sitting in a drawer somewhere for years, you'd probably be overjoyed to learn that its value has skyrocketed. Okay, so how do you know if you have one of these valuable 1938 no-mint mark halfpennies? The first step is obviously to check the date. If your halfpenny says 1938, you're already off to a good start. Next, you want to closely examine the coin surface, especially the area where the mint mark would normally be located. The absence of this tiny mark is what you're looking for. Once you've confirmed that, The next step is to have the coin professionally graded by a recognized authority, such as the PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These organizations will not only authenticate the coin, but also provide a detailed grade that can drastically affect its market value. So, is the 1938 no-mint mark half penny worth hunting for? Absolutely. But remember, these coins are incredibly rare, so finding one won't be easy. However, if you ever come across a 1938 half penny, it's worth taking a closer look to see if it might be one of these treasures. And for collectors who are just starting out, remember, coin collecting is not just about the potential financial gain. It's also about the thrill of holding a piece of history in your hands. The stories these coins tell, from royal reigns to minting mishaps, are invaluable. So, whether you're searching through an old collection or thinking about attending an auction, the 1938 no-mint mark half penny is definitely one to keep an eye on. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting. And guess what? We're exploring a coin that might be hiding in your collection, or even your pocket change. That's right, we're talking about the 1925 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a little coin that's worth a lot of money today. Stick around as we break down the history of this penny, why it's so valuable, and its current market worth of over $90,200. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at this tiny, historic gem, the 1925 Lincoln penny. From the first glance, it might seem like any regular penny, but there's so much more to it than meets the eye. This little coin is quite the story behind it. To really appreciate the 1925 Lincoln penny, we need to understand its origins. The Lincoln penny, also called the Lincoln wheat cent, was first introduced in 1909, replacing the Indian head cent. It was created to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The penny's designer, Victor David Brenner, captured Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse side, a design that still stands to this day, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Now, fast forward to 1925, a significant time in American history. The country was in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, a period of economic growth and cultural change, but also a time of great challenges as it was leading up to the Great Depression. Despite all that, the U.S. Mint continued its production of Lincoln pennies. These pennies were made at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, with a D mint mark, and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. So what makes this particular penny so special? Well, several factors come into play that makes the 1925 mint mark Lincoln pennies highly sought after by collectors. Let's break it down. First, rarity. The 1925 Lincoln penny had a relatively large production run, but when it comes to the condition of the coins, that's where things get interesting. Over time, many of these pennies were lost, damaged, or worn down, which makes finding one in excellent condition extremely rare today. And for collectors, condition is everything. A well-preserved, mint state 1925 Lincoln penny is incredibly difficult to come by. Second, mint marks. If you have a 1925 penny with a mint mark, like the D4 Denver or the S4 San Francisco, it's often worth more than one from the Philadelphia Mint, which lacks a mint mark. The S Mint pennies tend to be even more valuable due to lower production numbers. And third, condition and grade. The grading system for coins ranges from poor, P1, all the way to mint state, MS70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Pennies from 1925 in pristine condition, especially with an S Mint mark, can fetch some serious cash, often in the thousands of dollars range. Now, let's get to the big question. Why is a single 1925 penny selling for over $90,200 today? It all comes down to an extraordinary set of circumstances. Some 1925 pennies have gone for six figures at auctions because they are not only in near-perfect mint condition, but also have been certified by professional coin grading services as being among the best examples in existence. When you combine rarity, high grade, and demand from collectors, the value skyrockets. For example, a coin graded as MS65 or higher from 1925, particularly one with an S or D mint mark, can reach values in the tens of thousands of dollars. In a recent auction, one such 1925 S penny sold for an astonishing $90,200. Why? Simply put, it's one of the finest known examples of its kind. When only a handful of coins exist in such pristine condition, collectors are willing to pay top dollar to own a piece of history. So how do you know if your 1925 Lincoln penny is worth a fortune? Let me walk you through the steps of identifying and valuing your coin. Check the date. Obviously, it needs to be from 1925, but pay special attention to the mint mark, located just below the date. An S or D mint mark will generally increase the value. Look at the condition. The less wear and tear, the more valuable it is. If your penny still has clear, sharp details, like Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the reverse side, you could be sitting on something valuable. Get it graded. If you think your penny is in great condition, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service. A high grade can mean a huge difference in value. Now, let's talk about the current market value. While the highest graded pennies are fetching tens of thousands of dollars, even average condition 1925 pennies can be worth quite a bit. As of today, a typical 1925 penny in circulated condition is worth around $1 to $5. However, in uncirculated condition, these pennies can be valued anywhere from $50 to $1,500, depending on the grade. And of course, if you happen to have one of those ultra-rare mint state pennies, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars, with a record high sale at $90,200. To wrap things up, the 1925 Lincoln penny is a coin that proves how much value a little piece of history can hold. Whether you're an avid coin collector or just someone who enjoys history, it's always worth checking out your spare change. You never know, you might just have a fortune sitting in your pocket. Video, we're going to take a closer look at the 1978 Lincoln penny, a coin that you might just have sitting in your pocket or coin jar, but it could be worth a lot more than you think. How much more? Well, some of these pennies have sold for as much as $80,200. That's right, a single penny could be worth a small fortune. So let's get into the history, the mint marks, and the factors that make this penny so valuable. Before we dive into the specific value of the 1978 penny, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and since then, it has become one of the most widely recognized coins in American currency. By 1978, the Lincoln cent had already undergone a few modifications. The obverse, or front, of the penny features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in place since 1959. What makes the 1978 Lincoln penny special is not just its design, but the subtle details, including mint marks, errors, and rarity that can drive its value way up. The 1978 Lincoln penny was produced at two different mints, the Denver Mint and the San Francisco Mint. You can tell where your penny was made by looking for a small letter under the date. A D stands for Denver, while an S indicates it was minted in San Francisco. There are also pennies without a mint mark, which were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. While mint marks can sometimes influence the value of a coin, in this case, the mint mark itself isn't what makes a 1978 Lincoln penny potentially worth a lot of money. However, It's important to know where your coin was made when determining its rarity and value. Now, let's talk about the factors that can make a 1978 penny worth a staggering $80,200. The most important elements that determine a coin's value are rarity, condition, and the presence of errors. First up is rarity. While millions of 1978 pennies were minted, some specific versions or error coins are much harder to come by. These rare coins can sell for tens of thousands of dollars if they are highly sought after by collectors. Next, we have condition. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, use a grading system to determine the condition of a coin. This system ranges from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. The closer a coin is to perfect condition, meaning no scratches, wear, or discoloration, the higher its value. Coins that are graded MS67 or higher can fetch thousands of dollars. Finally, errors are where things get really interesting. Some 1978 pennies have unique minting errors that make them highly valuable. These can include things like double die errors, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets. These errors are relatively rare, but when they do appear, they dramatically increase the coin's worth. For instance, a penny with a significant error combined with a high condition grade could easily go for over $80,000 at auction. So, where did the $80,200 number come from? One specific 1978 Lincoln penny in pristine, near-perfect condition, with an MS67 grade and an error, was sold at auction for an eye-popping $80,200. This is one of the highest sales for a Lincoln penny of this era. It's not every day that you come across a penny worth this much, but it's also a reminder to keep your eyes peeled when checking your pocket change or coin collection. Sometimes, the most valuable finds come from the least expected places. Now, let's talk about the current market value for the 1978 Lincoln penny. While the vast majority of these pennies are only worth their face value of 1 cent, there are exceptions. A regular, circulated 1978 penny without any minting errors is typically valued at around 1 to 10 cents, depending on its condition. However, if you happen to have a 1978 penny in uncirculated condition or one with a significant error, the value can shoot up dramatically. For example, an MS65 graded penny, which is almost perfect, might be worth anywhere from $25 to $50. Higher grades, like MS67 or MS68, could fetch anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000. But as we've mentioned, the real money comes from the rare error coins or those in exceptionally high grades. Collectors are always willing to pay top dollar for a rare find, and if you happen to have one of these rare 1978 pennies, it could be worth tens of thousands. Wondering if your 1978 penny could be one of the valuable ones? The first thing you'll need is a magnifying glass or coin loupe to inspect the details. Look for any signs of minting errors like double die features, off-center strikes, or unusual markings. These can be subtle, so take your time inspecting the coin. Next, try to evaluate its condition. Does it have a lot of wear and tear? Or does it look almost brand new? While it's tough to grade a coin without experience, you can compare your coin to online grading guides, or even send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for an official assessment. Having your coin professionally graded can significantly increase its resale value if it's in exceptional condition. So there you have it. The 1978 Lincoln penny might seem like just another coin, but with the right condition, rare minting errors, or grading, it could be worth a small fortune. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just starting out, always remember to check your coins before spending them. You never know when you might be holding on to a valuable piece of history. We're diving deep into the fascinating story behind the 1980 Lincoln cent, often called the Mink Mark I cent. Why is it so valuable? What makes it special? And how can you identify one if you're lucky enough to find it? The Lincoln cent, as we know it today, has been a staple of American currency since 1909, when it was first issued to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it featured the 16th president's profile on the obverse side, and it replaced the Indian head penny that had been in circulation. Throughout the years, there have been many changes to the composition and design of the penny, including the materials used to mint them. Before 1982, pennies were made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-plated zinc core. The 1980 Lincoln penny was one of the last to be made with mostly copper, which is one reason why collectors have a special interest in it. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Not every 1980 Lincoln penny is worth thousands of dollars. Most of them, in fact, are just worth their face value. But a select few are incredibly rare and valuable because of a few unique factors. Let's break them down. First, let's talk about the mint mark error, a term often used to refer to a mint mark error. On some rare occasions, a coin might be misstruck, or there could be an issue with the die used to stamp the mint mark. In the case of the 1980 penny, certain coins feature a mint mark that's either doubled, misplaced, or has unusual characteristics. This can make a huge difference in value. These errors are usually caused by a worn die or a mistake during the minting process. Error coins are always highly sought after by collectors because they are rare, and their imperfections make them unique. Another important factor is the coin's condition. Grading coins is a critical step in determining their value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, uncirculated coin with no imperfections. A high-grade, error-free 1980 penny could be worth anywhere from $1 to $10. But if you find one of these rare error coins, graded at or near the top, that's when the value skyrockets into the tens of thousands. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. How did a 1980 Lincoln penny sell for a whopping $70,200? At a major coin auction, a 1980 Lincoln penny in pristine condition with a rare error was sold for an astonishing $70,200. The coin in question had a perfect red grade, meaning its copper color was flawless, and it featured a striking error that made it one of a kind. This is a testament to how important rarity, condition, and error features are when it comes to coin collecting. So, if you happen to have a 1980 Lincoln penny lying around, especially one with an unusual mint mark or in near-perfect condition, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Now that you know the potential value, let's talk about how to identify a rare and valuable 1980 Lincoln penny. Here's what you need to look for. Look for any doubling, unusual placement, or defects in the D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, mint marks. A doubled mint mark is often a huge value booster. As I mentioned earlier, condition is key. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Keep an eye out for coins with little to no wear, shiny luster, and a rich copper color. These are graded as red pennies. Apart from the mint mark, other errors like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks can increase the coin's value. These are manufacturing defects that collectors love. So, what's the current market value of a 1980 Lincoln penny in 2024? Well, the majority of these coins, in circulated condition, are only worth face value, 1 cent. However, error coins, or pennies in mint condition, can range anywhere from $10 to over $100 depending on the grade and type of error. On the high end, the $70,200 penny sold at auction is still an outlier, but it shows just how much collectors are willing to pay for the rarest of the rare. And with the ongoing interest in numismatics, the study and collection of currency, prices for these error coins are expected to hold strong, if not rise over time. Now, if you think you have a valuable 1980 penny, Here's what you can do to cash in. First, send your coin to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This will give you a professional assessment of its grade and value. If you don't want to go through an auction house, many local coin dealers and shows are willing to appraise and even buy your rare coins. Platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and other online auction sites can be a good way to reach a wide audience of coin collectors. So there you have it. A 1980 Lincoln penny, normally just a piece of pocket change, can be worth a small fortune if it has the right characteristics. Whether it's an error coin, a mint condition penny, or a combination of both, it's always worth checking your old change and keeping an eye out for those hidden treasures. We're diving into a coin that has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. The 1981 Lincoln Memorial Cent, better known as the 1981 Mink Mark 1-cent penny. This coin is not just any ordinary penny. It could be worth an incredible $60,200 today. Asterisk, you heard that right, folks. $60,000 for a penny. So what's the story behind this valuable coin? Why are collectors scrambling to get their hands on it? And most importantly, how can you find out if you have one? Let's get started. Asterisk, to fully appreciate the 1981 Lincoln Cent, we need to start with its origins. The Lincoln Memorial Cent, which was produced from 1959 to 2008, was part of a long tradition of pennies featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile. The Lincoln penny itself first debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Asterisk, but the 1981 Lincoln Memorial Cent is special for a number of reasons. For starters, it represents one of the last years in which pennies were made from 95% copper. In 1982, the U.S. Mint began transitioning to a zinc core with a copper coating, significantly reducing the metal's intrinsic value. This makes pre-1982 pennies, like the 1981 one, already more valuable for their copper content alone. Asterisk, but there's something even more exciting about the 1981 penny, and that's the famous, or should I say infamous, mint mark error that has made this coin so sought after by collectors. But before we get into that, let's talk about how these coins were made. Asterisk, the 1981 Lincoln Cent was minted in 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Denver and San Francisco bear mint marks. Asterisk, the asterisk for Denver and S for San Francisco, while coins from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark. Asterisk, for most collectors, coins with mint marks are of particular interest. In the case of the 1981 penny, the coins produced at the San Francisco Mint are the most valuable, especially those that feature the S mint mark. But there's an unusual twist that has skyrocketed the value of some of these coins, and it all boils down to an error known as the mint mark variety. Asterisk, now here's where things get really interesting. In 1981, something strange happened at the San Francisco Mint. Some of the coins from this year feature what we call a mint mark error. This particular error has led collectors to dub these coins the mink mark variety. Asterisk, on these coins, the S mint mark is either doubled, poorly struck, or has what collectors call a blurry or mushy appearance. This can be due to the die used to strike the coin wearing out or being improperly prepared. Such errors are incredibly rare, and it's these errors that have propelled the value of this penny into the stratosphere. Asterisk, so, if you have a 1981 penny with an S mint mark, take a closer look at it. You might be holding a piece of numismatic history that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Asterisk, now, let's talk numbers. How did this little copper penny, worth just 1 cent, become worth $60,200? The value of coins is driven by several factors: rarity, demand, condition, and errors. Asterisk, first, rarity. Only a small number of these mint mark error pennies exist, and even fewer have survived in excellent condition. Second, demand. Collectors love error coins because they're unique and represent interesting quirks in the minting process. And third, condition. A coin that's been well preserved, with minimal wear and tear, can fetch a premium. Asterisk, for example, in 2023, one of these mint mark error pennies in pristine condition sold for an astonishing $60,200 at auction. That's the highest recorded sale price for a 1981 penny so far. But even if your coin isn't in mint condition, it could still be worth a significant amount of money. Asterisk, alright, so you've got some 1981 pennies lying around, and you're wondering if they're worth anything. Here's what you need to do to find out if you have one of the valuable ones. Asterisk, first, check for the mint mark. Look closely at the front of the penny, just below the year. If you see an S mint mark, you're already on the right track. Asterisk ext, examine the mint mark carefully. If the S looks doubled, blurry, or off-center, you may have a mint mark error coin. Asterisk, finally, check the condition of the coin. Coins in near-perfect condition are called mint state and can fetch much higher prices. If your coin shows little to no wear, it's worth getting it appraised by a professional coin grading service. Asterisk, you can also use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to get a closer look at your coin. If you find a potential error, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for official verification. Asterisk, so, what's the current market value of the 1981 Lincoln Memorial Cent? If you have a standard 1981 penny without any errors, it's likely only worth a little more than its face value, maybe 10 to 30 cents for copper content. Asterisk, but if you have a mint mark error coin, the value jumps dramatically. Depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition, these pennies can be worth anywhere from a few $100s to tens of thousands of dollars. In mint state condition, these rare error coins have recently sold for between $1,500 and $5,000 at auctions. And remember, one exceptional example sold for $1.60, $200. Asterisk, the market for rare coins like this one fluctuates, so keeping an eye on auction prices is key. You never know when your coin could become even more valuable. Asterisk, and that wraps up today's video on the 1981 Lincoln Memorial Cent, one of the most intriguing and valuable pennies in circulation today. If you've got some pennies lying around, go check them. You might be sitting on a gold mine, or should I say a copper mine, worth $60, $200. Asterisk, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future coin collecting tips and numismatic news. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting. Asterisk. We have something truly exciting to talk about. The 1983 Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, a penny. Believe it or not, this humble little coin has been making headlines recently because some of these pennies could be worth a staggering $50,200. In this video, we're going to explore the history of the 1983 Lincoln penny, why it's become so valuable, and what to look for if you have one in your collection. So, stick around and you might just discover that you're holding on to a hidden treasure. First, let's rewind a bit and take a look at the history of the 1983 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the famous portrait of Lincoln that we all know today. But by 1982, the U.S. Mint made a big change. The price of copper had been rising, and producing pennies using mostly copper was no longer cost-effective. So, starting mid-1982, they switched to a new composition, a copper-plated zinc planchet. This made the pennies lighter, cheaper to produce, and much more common in terms of the materials used. So, if pennies were made of zinc after 1982, what makes the 1983 penny so special, right? Well, here's where things get interesting. Even though most of the 1983 pennies were supposed to be zinc, a few rare ones were accidentally struck on older copper planchets. That's right. Some of these pennies from 1983 were mistakenly made with 95% copper instead of zinc. This error makes them extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. So, if you have a 1983 penny, you could be holding onto a rare coin worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Now the big question: how do you tell if your 1983 penny is one of these valuable copper errors? There are a couple of ways to check. First, you'll want to weigh your penny. A regular zinc penny, minted after 1982, should weigh around 2.5 grams. But a copper penny from before the change should weigh closer to 3.11 grams. If your 1983 penny weighs more than 3 grams, that's your first big clue that you may have a rare copper penny. Second, look at the color. Copper pennies tend to have a slightly different sheen than the zinc ones, so pay close attention. But the best method is definitely weighing it. Alright, so we've talked about why the 1983 penny is special, but let's get to the part we've all been waiting for. How much is this coin actually worth? Recently, some of these rare copper pennies have sold for jaw-dropping prices at auctions. In fact, in 2021, one of these 1983 copper pennies sold for an unbelievable $50,200 at auction. And it's not just one lucky coin. Several of these error pennies have sold for tens of thousands of dollars over the years, especially if they're in good condition, graded as mint state or higher by professionals.so. If you've got a 1983 penny in excellent condition, it could be worth more than just a single cent. And collectors are constantly on the lookout for these rare errors. With that in mind, the market value of these pennies will likely keep rising over time. Now, the 1983 copper penny isn't the only valuable penny out there. While we're on the topic of valuable coins, here are a few more pennies you should be on the lookout for in your change jar or coin collection. The 1943 steel penny. During World War II, copper was needed for the war effort, so pennies were made out of steel. These pennies are already rare, but if you find a copper one from 1943, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds of thousands. The 1955 double die penny. This penny has a famous mint error where the image of Lincoln and the date appear doubled. These are very collectible and can fetch thousands depending on their condition. Okay, so you've gone through your coin collection, and you think you might have a valuable 1983 penny. What's the next step? Getting it graded. To get the best price for your coin, you'll need to send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will examine your coin, verify its authenticity, and assign it a grade based on its condition. The better the grade, the higher the price your penny could fetch at auction. Remember, coins in mint state condition, meaning they haven't been circulated much, tend to sell for the highest prices. Before we wrap up, here's a final tip. Check your coins. You never know what you might find. That penny in your wallet, piggy bank, or old jar might just be one of these rare treasures worth thousands of dollars. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person to cash in on a 1983 penny worth $50,200. We're going to dive into the mysterious world of the 1985 Lincoln penny, and why some of these coins could be worth up to $40, $200. That's right. A penny you could have found lying on the street or tossed in a jar may be worth a small fortune today. So what's so special about the 1985 Lincoln penny, or more specifically, the ones minted at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark? Let's take a deep dive into its history, value, and what makes certain versions of this coin so valuable. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln penny, has a rich history. First introduced in 1909, it was the first coin to feature a real person on it. none other than President Abraham Lincoln, in honor of his 100th birthday. But fast forward to 1985. This was a year of transition for the U.S. Mint. The penny had undergone several changes over the years, including a significant switch in 1982 when the mint transitioned from using mostly copper to a zinc core coated in copper. This was done to reduce costs, as copper prices had risen. By 1985, the penny was officially a copper-plated zinc coin, weighing about 2.5 grams, down from its original weight of 3.11 grams when it was made primarily of copper. But what makes the 1985 Lincoln penny special? Why could one be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Well, it all comes down to condition, rarity, and certain minting errors. Most 1985 pennies you come across are worth, well, just 1 cent. However, certain rare 1985 pennies in perfect, uncirculated condition or with notable minting errors can skyrocket in value. The real kicker is in the condition of the coin. In the coin collecting world, the MS or mint state grading scale is used to determine the condition of a coin. Pennies graded MS67 or higher, meaning they are in near perfect condition, are incredibly rare. A penny graded MS67 can be worth a few $100s. But a 1985 penny graded MS68 or higher, now we're talking serious money. In fact, one of these coins was sold for a jaw-dropping $40,200 at auction. Why so much? Coins in this level of preservation are exceedingly rare, especially from that year. Out of the millions produced, very few have survived in this immaculate condition. Coins that have been in circulation usually show wear and tear, scratches, nicks, or fading designs. But a penny that's been carefully preserved in uncirculated condition can command a premium price. If your 1985 penny is MS67 or higher, it could be worth anywhere from $500 to $1,000. But remember, the record-setting MS68 penny went for over $40,000. Unlike some coins, the 1985 Lincoln penny from the Philadelphia Mint has no mint mark. This is normal and expected. However, collectors still pay attention to where the coin was minted. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of the 1985 pennies, but there were also pennies minted in Denver, marked with a D. Some pennies have unique errors that make them highly sought after. For example, off-center strikes, double die errors, or die cracks or mistakes made during the coin's production. These errors add rarity and can drastically increase the value of the coin. So, if you find a 1985 penny with an error, especially in mint condition, that could be worth even more than a standard MS68 coin. If you think you've got a valuable 1985 Lincoln penny, here's what you should do. Use a magnifying glass to carefully inspect the coin. Look for any scratches, marks, or signs of wear. A coin that has been circulated will show obvious signs of use. Look for minting errors like misalignments, off-center strikes, or double images. Even small mistakes can significantly increase the coin's value. To truly know the value, you'll want to get the coin graded by a professional service, such as PCGS or NGC. They will assign a grade that determines its condition and therefore its market value. Professional grading services also provide protection and authenticity, which will help if you decide to sell the coin at auction or through a dealer. So, what is the current market value of a rare, uncirculated 1985 Lincoln penny? As of now, pennies graded MS67 can fetch a few $100s. Those in MS68 condition or better are where the big money is, with one fetching $40,200 at auction. The coin market fluctuates, so prices can vary. But one thing's for sure, if you have a rare, high-grade 1985 Lincoln penny, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. So, next time you're sorting through your loose change or diving into a coin collection, take an extra look at your 1985 pennies. You never know, that 1 cent coin could be worth thousands. Remember, it's all about condition, rarity, and errors. Even if you don't strike gold this time, collecting coins is a fun and fascinating hobby that can pay off in the long run. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest coin discoveries and tips. And let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? We're talking about a coin that might surprise you, the 2017 Lincoln penny. That's right, it's a coin you've probably seen in your change, but this humble 1-cent coin could be worth an incredible amount of money, up to $30,200 in some cases. Yes, you heard that right. In today's video, we'll dive deep into the history of this coin, explain why it's unique, and discuss how it became so valuable. So make sure to watch until the end to find out how much your penny could be worth and what makes these coins so sought after in the world of coin collecting. Let's jump right into it. First, let's take a trip down memory lane and explore the history behind this coin. The Lincoln penny, featuring the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, has been in circulation since 1909. It's one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. But what's special about the 2017 penny, specifically the 2017 penny? 2017 marked a very special year for the U.S. Mint. It was the 225th anniversary of the Mint's establishment, and to celebrate this, they made a subtle yet historical change. For the first time ever, they added the P mint mark to the penny. The P stands for Philadelphia, where the coin was minted. While pennies from Philadelphia have been minted for decades, this was the first time they added a mint mark on the penny to indicate it was made in the Philly Mint. So why does this matter? Well, the 2017 penny is a one-year-only issue. That means it's the first and only time Philadelphia put its mint mark on the penny, making it instantly unique among Lincoln pennies. Collectors love special issues like this, coins that break tradition and only happen for a limited time. While most 2017 pennies are only worth their face value, 1 cent, there are rare exceptions that have driven prices sky high in auctions and private sales. The main reason? Errors. That's right, error coins can sometimes be worth a fortune. Some 2017 pennies were struck with minting errors that make them highly desirable to collectors. Error coins can include things like double die errors, off-center strikes, or even planchet errors where the coin is struck on a defective metal disc. These mistakes make the coin unique, and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for these oddities. For example, a 2017 penny with a dramatic error was sold at auction for an astonishing $30,200. That's not all. Even coins in perfect, mint-state condition can be worth far more than their face value. Coins that receive a top grading, like MS-67 or MS-68 from the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. These are coins that show no wear and tear, and they look exactly as they did when they left the mint. So, you're probably wondering, how can you tell if the 2017 penny sitting in your coin jar is one of these rare, valuable coins? First, take a close look at your coin. You'll want to check for minting errors. If your penny has a double strike, off-center strike, or any other unusual feature, you could be holding on to something valuable. One of the most popular error types is the double die. This occurs when the coin is struck twice, and as a result, the design looks doubled. On a penny, you might notice this around Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering on the coin. Next, if you think your coin is in perfect condition, it might be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Grading services will evaluate the coin's condition and assign it a score, which can significantly impact its value. Coins in high-grade mint condition are highly sought after by collectors. Now let's talk about the current market value of the 2017 penny. Like we mentioned earlier, Most of these pennies are only worth their face value. However, those with errors or in mint state condition can be worth a lot more. According to recent auction data, 2017 pennies with noticeable minting errors have sold for anywhere between $500 and $30,200, depending on the rarity and severity of the error. Even coins in perfect condition without errors, graded MS67 or MS68, have sold for upwards of $1,000. The value of these coins tends to rise over time as they become more scarce. Since 2017 is already several years ago, there are fewer uncirculated examples available, making mint-condition pennies more valuable to collectors. Some experts predict that over time, the value of these coins could rise even higher, especially for error pennies. First, make sure to examine your penny closely. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to check for any signs of minting errors. If you're unsure, you can always take it to a professional numismatist or coin dealer for an expert opinion. If your penny looks flawless, consider sending it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to have it evaluated. This could significantly increase its value if it's in mint state condition. And finally, keep an eye on auction results and market trends, especially for error coins. You never know. Your 2017 penny could turn out to be worth much more than you think. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coin collecting, rare coins, and hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Have you checked your change lately? Let us know in the comments below if you found a rare 2017 penny or any other valuable coins. Until next time, happy collecting!